We're going to obviously dive really quickly into the feud between Trump and Musk before we get to the New York City mayoral race drama and all the other things that are happening. Let's take a look.
President Trump and Elon Musk, their alliance now in tatters, just days after Musk left his White House role. It started as a dispute over the president's budget bill.
But now the two men trading personal attacks and threats. John Carl is standing by. He just got off the phone with the president moments ago. But first, let's go to our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, who is at the White House with the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. And this relationship just went up in flames. A stunning turnaround and an also very public meltdown between the president and the man once considered his most powerful advisor. This morning, the explosive public feud between President Trump and Elon Musk turning vindictive and personal. The president breaking his silence after the billionaire called his signature spending bill a disgusting abomination.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore.
Musk warning about the level of spending in the bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says will add $3 trillion to the national debt. Sources tell ABC News Musk personally pushed Speaker Johnson not to get rid of a tax incentive.
I love that everyone is crazy. Everyone is crazy now. Okay? It's not just the Republicans. The Republicans are also coping big time, right? Big news update. Kilmar Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador, is on his way back to the U.S. to face criminal charges, sources tell ABC News. What are the criminal charges he's supposed to face? Like, that's not great news, if we're being honest. It kind of feels like it's the bad news. They're like, we're going to bring him back to do a sham trial so we can, like, prosecute him further. Okay, sick, weird. Sick and also sickening. What is happening in this goddamn country? We'll cover that. We'll cover that in a second. What I was going to say is going back to the Elon Musk situation. The reason why, no hate, but could you cover the record high ICE arrests and raids and them camping out court appointments across the country? What do you mean no hate? I will, of course, and I have, and I will continue to do so. And we're going to do New York as well. Just calm down and listen. We're going to get to all of that. Okay. You're a clown, Hasan. Thank you. Thank you for saying I'm funny and entertaining. I hope I can continue to be entertaining. So the Republicans are obviously in a deep state of panic and sadness because on the one hand, you know, the two daddies are fighting, and that's always not great. That's always a sad state of affairs, right? But also, on top of that, the liberals are not in the best state of mind either, because they are looking at the situation and they have all collectively decided that this is a sham. On the one hand, you hear this from QAnon, but on the other hand, you hear this from BlueAnon as well, which I think is interesting. BlueAnon also thinks this back and forth is actually fake. It's crafted. It's only being done so that they can. It's only being done and unfolding. This drama is unfolding as a kayfabe, as a way to, like, I guess, get Elon back to the good graces of, like, liberals or something. Okay, and I think the truth is much simpler than that. These are two incredibly narcissistic, incredibly childish, egomaniacal man-children that have surrounded themselves with sycophants. So, of course, they were going to inevitably fight one another in broad daylight in the exact same ways that they are fighting right now. This was predestined. I don't think it's supposed to be, like, I don't think you need to read too deeply into what's going on. You know, if they try to patch things up later down the line, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, see, we told you, like, this was always fake. It's like, no, they just did that because they realized that, you know, there's still this allegiance that they can maintain, which I don't even know if they will be able to. I just don't, I don't think that this is, like, fake. I don't think that this is a kayfabe. I don't think this is drama that they've created to make you pay attention to this and something else, like, you know, and not something else. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump's reaction to Elon Musk behaving in this insane way proves to me that this is not fake, because he is behaving like an adult. because he knows that he's the president and therefore has a massive tax cut bill that he is trying to advance right now, which is precisely the fucking reason why he's like, I don't care about this. Elon is just attacking the bill. He shouldn't attack the bill. The bill is very important. Big, beautiful bill. Big, beautiful tax breaks. Believe it. We're doing the tax breaks. You know what I mean? I think Donald Trump has been surprisingly adult and uncharacteristically adult about this breakup, which leads me to believe that the back and forth is very real and not manufactured or designed for our consumption. It was bound to happen at some point, and it's finally happening. And Trump is not excited that it's happening right now because he has a big, beautiful bill to push through.
Incentive to buy electric vehicles like Tesla.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk was once considered the president's most powerful advisor, leaving the administration just days ago with an old...
It is also hilarious that this man promoted Teslas because Tesla stock prices were tanking in front of the White House and then turned around and cut EV credits, which further tanked the Tesla stock prices. Like, Elon is such a stupid person. He is such a remarkably dumb guy. It is alarming. It is shocking to me that he can't even demonstrate basic competency. I don't understand it. Like, you might say, what are you talking about, Hasan? He bought Twitter. He was able to single-handedly drive discourse further and further into the right. And it's like, no, it's because he's really rich that he's able to do stuff like that. Okay. He has an endless amount of power, but he doesn't necessarily have an endless amount of brain processing capabilities. Okay. It's not like he is like luck played a formative role in his career initially, but after a certain point of wealth, you're just basically failing upwards. It's impossible. You have like all the safeguards, like with Tesla being a great example of this. When you have two-thirds of your shareholders are institutional investors, then the entire market relies on Tesla constantly growing, and Tesla stock price is constantly going up. So now you have the rest of the stock market that is supposed to create a false sense of confidence around your stock because they're all invested in it. So no matter how much Elon lies or says ridiculous things or makes a fool of himself, these guys have to act like he's still brilliant. Otherwise, their money's on the line and nobody wants to lose money. That's it. The reason why I'm mentioning all of this is because I need you to understand that this man is not a brilliant person. He is just a very profoundly rich person. And when you're profoundly rich, you can be stupid and still have a tremendous amount of power. And his stupidity is endless. I mean, look at this. Like associating yourself with a guy who is primarily invested in the fossil fuel industry and its dominance, who understands, who recognizes that the fossil fuel industry's continuation is a matter of national security from his perspective, because the global competitor China is completely dominating and has almost all but monopolized the renewable sector. And you're still trying to work with this dude. It's so stupid. You're inevitably going to tank your company. Republicans are never going to buy EVs because EVs are gay and woke. Come on, man. You know Elon means well. You're joking, right? 4-month subscriber. There is 0% chance that you think Elon Musk means well. He is the wealthiest billionaire. Oh, you're joking. Okay, thank God. Jesus Christ.
Oval Office farewell and a gold key to the White House.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
He spent $200 million of his own money to help Trump and Republicans get elected, appearing at events with a chainsaw, promising to slash spending.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
The president tapping him to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, giving him the power to gut entire...
Dude, I said this yesterday, but I got to repeat it again. If I'm Bill Gates, if I'm Bilbo Gates, okay, or if I'm Jeffrey Jebediah Bezos, I'm calling up every other billionaire to be like, we gotta do something about this guy. He is up the bag for all of us, dude. Because, like, billionaires are supposed to move in silence, dumbass. You're not supposed to literally come out and be like, I own the elections. I am your God, okay? That is going to calcify the resentment that people already feel. You're not supposed to be a visible person. You're not supposed to be a visible enemy, okay? You are going to accidentally instill class consciousness in the working class when you do this. So I obviously personally love Elon Musk being a baboon on the timeline and also in broad daylight, okay? I think it's great. If I was a billionaire, and I am obviously according to my haters, I'd be calling up every other billionaire being like, dude, we got to stop this right now. The people are going to grab the pitchforks and burn us at the stake if Elon keeps this up. Every day that Elon Musk goes on television and goes, USA, oh, chainsaw, I'm going to, as a billionaire, I'm going to fire every person that works for the National Forest Service. It's like the richest man on the planet working with another billionaire asshole Republican to fire people that work at the National Weather Service is like, is propaganda that I could not have imagined. That's agitative propaganda that I would never be able to cultivate in a million years. It is directly showing even the least class conscious Americans exactly what's up, exactly what's going on. Now, a lot of them are still deluded, you know? A lot of them are still primarily invested in making their own money, in being entrepreneurs, and maybe cutting a side deal here or there, and I don't know, doing drop shipping or whatever the okay? And plenty of them still are invested in the notion of meritocracy because then they can make it one day. And obviously, if they were to realize that meritocracy is a lie, then what the is this all for? Like, they're never going to actually leave their position. They're never actually going to leave their position as a wage slave for the rest of their lives. So it takes a tremendous amount of agitated propaganda to overcome the pre-established social conditioning that requires everyone to buy into this process. But as material conditions worsen, and as you directly see these visible tyrants behaving in the way that like old monopolists wouldn't even behave in, that you only saw in like political cartoons, you know, like the fat guy with a monocle and a top hat being like, I will take all of your food. After all, I need it more. Like, that's Elon Musk in modernity, okay? Elon Musk is basically the human embodiment of capital. He behaves like the 1920s monopoly man with a monocle and a top hat. Like, that's what he's doing. And unlike the 1920s monopoly man, he's not even building libraries. He's not even building like the next wing of the museum that you could go to. All he's doing with his spare time is constantly churning out the lowest bottom of the barrel memes so you like him. He ain't building railroads. He's building tunnels to stop railroads from being built. We've devolved. Our billionaires and our oligarchs have devolved. All he wants to do is nut in his reply guys and reply gals and tweet epic dank memes on the timeline. How can you look at the situation and go, nah, this guy's brilliant. He deserves it. He deserves his wealth. Meritocracy is real. You know? He's too busy sending nut by mail to Twitter reply gals. Okay? Bro, I'm eating. Okay, well, sorry. It's just the truth. So I love Elon being a buffoon. The real Gilded Age barons would eat this dude for breakfast. Yeah. So I don't know. I use every opportunity I have to basically try to show people the truth about how these billionaires are not these like brilliant shadowy figures that are controlling society. They're just immensely wealthy people that, by way of hard work for sure initially, and also a tremendous amount of luck, have generated endless amounts of wealth, and now use those endless amounts of wealth to continue to rob you blind.
Agencies and fire federal workers. But now the president says he didn't need Musk or his money to win.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
And dismissing him as a disgruntled former employee.
They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different and they become hostile.
Musk clearly listening, outraged. Writing on social media, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Adding such ingratitude and suggesting he'll start a new political party. Then pushing back on Trump's claim that he knew what was in the bill, calling that false. This bill was never shown to me even once. The president turning up the heat, writing, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. Trump then threatening to cancel his $20 billion in government contracts. Musk then threatening to pull NASA's only ride to the International Space Station, writing, in light of the president's statement.
That, by the way, probably is one of the most like dangerous statements that Elon made. Dangerous for him, mind you. Like, calling Trump a pedophile is one thing, right? His cult is too strong. They're not going to care. They're not going to be like, oh my God, Trump was on the Epstein list. No, they're going to be like, oh, we know he was on the Epstein list. I've already said this before, and many others have as well, that like if Jeffrey Epstein didn't get assassinated, right? Most likely. That's my assessment. That's the position of the Hasan broadcast, obviously. If he was alive still and he was able to do like podcasts and they would consider Jeffrey Epstein, if he did podcasts and was like, I'm anti-woke actually, and they only are coming after me because I exposed the wokes, he would be a hero. He would be considered a goddamn hero by Republicans. Okay, these guys do not care about pedophilia. They do not care. They like pedophilia. It's like they do it. They practice it themselves. That's why there is the pedocon theory, which is a theory such as the theory of gravity at this point. You know what I mean? It's just real. It's not just a theory. It is just reality. So, to be fair, though, nobody really Matt Gaetz. Yeah, it's not because he was a pedophile. It's because he up the bag for the never. I mean, he was the leader of the Never Kever movement. That's it. That's the real reason why they hate him, because he disrupted and made a mockery of the Republican Party by causing instability.
SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately.
But anyway, this is the more consequential thing that Elon Musk actually claimed he was going to do and then very quickly backed away from doing, because this would actually have severe repercussions. It would destroy, first of all, this destroys Elon Musk's government contracts in perpetuity. Any serious government would look at this and go, okay, it's over. We are, one, using the Defense Production Act to instantly nationalize SpaceX and bring it under the banner of NASA. And two, you will never get a government contract ever again. The mere threat of not playing ball with the American government, or any government really, after you got endless billions from said government because you had a petty spat, is psychotic. I mean, it's the truth. That's how much power these have. And any serious government should look at that and go, okay, we're going to Chinese style Jack Ma you. We're going to hit the Jack Ma button. You're going to the countryside, you know? You're going to be picking up a pickaxe real soon. That's what any serious government would do. Any serious government that cares about preserving its national interests, its national security, for example, they would turn around and go, what do you mean? Oh, you had a ketamine-fueled bender and decided to destroy the public-private partnership that we've designed? Well, seems like that's a problem for the future. Yeah, I saw the Peter Schiff. I'm going to talk about it. I call him Peter Schiff.
Later backing off, saying he won't do that after all. Musk also saying Trump's tariffs will cause a recession and calling for the president to be impeached. As the attacks turn more vicious and personal, Tesla stock.
Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine being like Like, I mean, this in and of itself is yet another unique radicalizing opportunity for a lot of people to understand that this private-public partnership is on tenuous ground. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to have a public-private partnership on all of this stuff because the private sector could just like pull out if they chose to do so. That's surreal. Can you imagine? Like, that's insane. And because there's so much power consolidation in the private sector, it's directly in the hands of one madman, one egomaniacal madman. As long as it is motivated by profit, the government thinks this creates stability. And the private sector can always say, well, our profit margins are down. Give us more subsidies. Give us more money, right? And as long as the government keeps the free flow of subsidies to the private sector, to the private partner, then it's fine, right? That's the way that they see it. That's the trade-off. Having said that, however, because of the way that the private sector works, where like one maniacal madman can just like break this contract apart in the way that Elon threatened, this should be a uniquely radicalizing moment for every serious person in DC that is even remotely interested in good governance. Okay? It's crazy. How would they nationalize SpaceX? I already told you, Defense Production Act and national, like Defense Production Act invoked for national security interests. Immediately, every single SpaceX employee turns into a public sector employee, and they fold SpaceX back under the banner of NASA. SpaceX already is SpaceX would not exist without NASA. SpaceX scientists have worked in NASA. They've worked in JPL. SpaceX is basically NASA but privatized. So it would not require much effort to fold it back under NASA. A lot of these private sector, a lot of these like private enterprise, a lot of these private companies are basically things that governments do all around the world, but privatized in the United States of America, or even things that the government used to do in the United States of America, like NASA, but now privatized because it's more efficient. There's no more red tape. There's more opportunity and more room for deregulation, and there's less of a battle for continuous funding necessary to keep up these programs. I would love for a NASA SpaceX merger, for the record. It would be fantastic. I wish that it would happen. I wish for it to happen.
Stock started to plunge, the company losing more than $150 billion in market value. But the billionaire not letting up, writing, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." Musk, of course, there referring to Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of sex trafficking. He took his own life in prison, providing no evidence to back up his claims. In the middle of this very public feud, you have some public figures trying to broker peace. So take Kanye West, for example. He wrote on social media, quote, "Bros, please know we love you both so much."
We are a deeply unserious nation, and we're becoming more unserious by the day. It's alarming. It's alarming that Kanye West, who is, I don't know, on his like 700th manic episode meltdown, is getting media coverage as a serious party between a very visible, very dramatic spat between the wealthiest person on the planet and the most powerful person on the planet. What the hell is going on? Every single day, I think to myself, this can't be real. Like, think about it, dude. We back in 2016, we would talk about like Idiocracy is a documentary. It's like we live it now. We just straight up live it. We're living in the actual real life version of this. What the hell is going on? And worse, why does nobody wake up to how psychotic this situation is? That's what I don't understand. Like, things are falling apart all around us at an alarming rate. Commentary has devolved. Every aspect of our existence has gotten worse year over year. And nobody seems to go, what the is this? I guess we're just run by clowns. Everybody just goes, ha, that's funny. That's just funny. I guess we're run by delusional idiots. Who cares? I got to go back to work. You know what I mean? Oh, well, what am I to do? Don't give people what they need, a social safety net. Give them what they want, delusional content. Yeah, I do feel like we're in the end times for American empire. And when things like this happen, I am reminded of that theory. Again, theory like gravity is a theory. It's so crazy, partially because I think back in the day, like the Roman Empire didn't fall overnight. It took hundreds of years. Okay. But nowadays, with the way that technology works, with the limited attention spans that we have, and with how information travels at an incredible pace, I think the decline of empire has also, like, because empires always fall, right? But the decline of empire has also become much faster. So what would happen in periods over like 500 years can now happen in like maybe 50 years. And we're experiencing that right now. I think in the future, we'll look back at like what happened to the United States of America and the empire in decline. And we'll probably point to like the Reagan era as the period that started the instability and accelerated the end of the empire. And given how things are working out with someone like Donald Trump, it almost feels like Donald Trump might be the guy who sees it happen. Not getting fries with burgers anymore is a sure sign that we are close. Yeah, this will be in the history books. Cat turd breaking. Elon Musk has unsubscribed and unfollowed me. Alex Jones says he's not in my Trump cult. Many large influencer accounts desperately tried to stay neutral today. I've never changed in years. If you want to criticize Trump's bill, non-problem. If you don't like Trump's policies, no problem. I'm okay with that. If you don't like Trump's tariffs, I'll listen to your side. But when you come out and call Trump a pedophile, that's when you've crossed a red line. Don't care about anything you have to say after that. Oh, I wish that this was real. I wish that there was like a real fissure. I wish that there was a real fissure in the Republican ranks and these guys weren't so desperate to genuflect to wealthy capital owners while simultaneously maintaining their allegiance to the Trump cult, and that this would genuinely cause a collapse of the pre-established Republican allegiances that were always on shaky grounds to begin with. It's shocking to me that the singular unifier of Republicans broadly is deregulation and the eradication of taxes. And yet right now there is a lowering the tax bill. Okay. There is a lowering of the tax bill right now in front of us. And these guys are still fighting one another. This is a poop sock video, and thank you for trying to poop sock me. Let's continue.
And hedge fund manager Bill Ackman writing Musk and Trump should make peace for the benefit of our great country. Musk responding to that post saying, "You're not wrong," could be a sign that things are cooling off, but such tense and visceral words have been exchanged over the last 24 hours, George.
Social media had a field day. Okay, Rachel, thanks very much.
Chief Washington analyst Robert Costa. Bob, good morning. Good to see you. So what are your sources telling you behind closed doors about how this is playing out in the White House? And you've covered Trump for years. Is this any of a surprise to you?
Great to be with you. Talking to people inside and around this White House, they say this is actually quite serious. You have the richest man in the world battling the president of the United States. They also say it's theatrical, that if Musk ever changes his tune, he could find himself back in the inner circle. He has a lot of money. He could contribute to President Trump's causes. And
these guys don't care, too. That's the other thing. Like, I think Trump just wants Elon to shut the up and just keep funding his initiatives. You know what I mean? He's just like, dude, shut up. Just stop talking and just keep giving me money. And if you do that, every now and then I'll throw you a bone. You know what I mean? But Elon is like, I need the clout. I need the love. I need the admiration of your cult. And he was never even able to secure that admiration when he was firmly in the bosom of Donald Trump to begin with, partially because he was a magnet for all of the most negative, most consequential policies of Trump, firing federal employees and the like, and also because he is a repulsive, grotesque monster that even Trump's cult is not going to be on board with. He looks too gross. He behaves in a way where even the most like primal-minded, lizard-brained Americans look at that and go, ugh, it's like this is too foreign of a concept for me to be on board with. Trump is also a sweaty, oily, orange man. I don't know how else to describe it in better terms, right? But Trump also has a ton of television experience. He knows how to craft a message. He knows how to keep people invested in what he has to say. He has camera presence. He has stage presence. He has a knack for this sort of thing. Elon does not. Trump speaks to a frequency that a lot of right-wing Americans sing to. Like, they love this shit.
Trump has a long history of public feuds with people, seeing them as a villain, but then seeing them pretty soon as a friend.
I'm curious about the big, beautiful bill. Elon Musk wants it to be a slim, beautiful bill, says big is not beautiful. What's the outlook now for that getting through the Senate and getting to the president's desk?
Tony, when I was calling my Senate Republican sources, including some senators in the last 24 hours, it's evident to me that they fear President Trump more than they fear Elon Musk, because Musk has a lot of money. He could be very supportive of them when they run for re-election in 2026 or 2028. But at the end of the day, they want President Trump's endorsement in a primary. And if they don't have that, they don't see much of a future in politics.
Bob, we've been having that very same debate here on set. So there are real-life implications here for all Americans, from space contracts to the midterm elections. What are the implications that you are really keeping in mind here?
President Trump is wielding his power inside the federal government with a real iron grip. We've seen that since January of this year. And Elon Musk has had an up-close view of how President Trump uses power. He's not afraid to use it. So those close to President Trump tell me he could push to get rid of those contracts with SpaceX and other Musk companies. He could try to get rid of these tax subsidies. There's a real sense of being vindictive, if necessary, inside of the Trump inner circle. So they're ready to go to war with Elon Musk, but if he ever wants to be a friend again, they're willing to listen.
All right. Bob, thank you so much.
A day of online jabs, threats, and accusations leading to the...
I hate my ex. Big, beautiful breakup. Trump, Elon bromance explodes into insults and threats. I love this. God. New York Post, always goated. New York Post, the real gray lady, okay? The real paper of record. Not the New York Times, ew. More like the New York Crimes. New York Post, on the other hand, more like the New York Goats, okay? Classic.
New York Post cover. I hate my...
New York Post forced to have a front page that's not race baiting. Yeah. When they go low, we go high. Oh, yeah. Adam Friedland did Chris Cuomo's show. I'm going to cover that in a second.
X, but cooler heads could still prevail as White House aides are reportedly working to broker a truce between President Trump and Elon Musk.
Fox team coverage to kick things off this Friday. David Spunt will have more on the probe of former President Biden's decline. But first to our Aisha Husty. She is live where it's all happening, the White House. What are the chances that Musk and Trump get on the phone today and talk this one out?
Hey, John and Sandra, good to see you. I would say the chances are very, very slim to none. And that's really, quite frankly, coming from the president himself, who apparently is calling just about everyone or getting on the phone with just about everyone except for his old pal, Elon Musk. He just got off the phone with our Brett Baer and told him this, that he is not interested in talking to Elon. He is not worried about any of these third-party threats. Elon's been on X talking about perhaps we should create a third party. And Trump also pointed to some favorable polling that shows that there is strong support for him across America and also amongst Republicans on Capitol Hill. Of course, this all started because of...
By the way, it is alarming how quickly Trump was able to rebuild goodwill after having a record-breaking disapproval for virtually all of his policies, except for the one thing that no Democrat even touched with a 10-foot pole, trans issues, where he was in the red for everything. And the Democrats basically did the Kilmar-Abrego-Garcia thing. A couple Democrats did. And then they instantly stopped. Zero counters from the Dems. And all of a sudden, Trump is still dominating the headlines. Trump is still able to shape the media narratives to the way that he wants to. And outside of instances like this, where tensions run hot and there's a little bit of back and forth and there's drama or whatever, which has nothing to do with the Democrats, of course. Obviously, this happened because Republicans just chose to fight amongst themselves. The Democrats didn't push for this. And without that counter messaging, of course, Trump is able to rebuild confidence in his administration, even though they're doing spectacularly stupid things in broad daylight. Kind of feels like, no, he's able to, there are a lot of people on the edges, okay? There are a lot of people on the edges within the Trump coalition that were getting off this ride. They were getting off the Trump ride. They were like, I don't know about this tariff stuff. The tariff stuff actually did a big number, okay? But the Democrats never actually attacked on any of these weaknesses. They never pounced on anything, as opposed to the way the Republicans would never, and the Republicans have never actually let go of opportunities. Can you imagine if a Democratic leadership was this openly failing in broad daylight? Do you think the Republicans wouldn't make a massive stink? The Republicans would be using this opportunity to be like, oh my God, look at how stupid these guys are. Look at how bad they are. It would dominate media discourse. They did that with Joe Biden. They never stopped attacking. Democrats, on the other hand, nothing, not a peep. All you hear from Hakeem Jeffries is are they arresting staffers of my congressional caucus members? Are they arresting members of the Democratic Party? Is the DOJ coming after members of the Democratic Party? We'll respond at some point. And our response will be swift, I think. How are you going to let that go? What the f*** is going on?
Of the big, beautiful bill, and Elon is still trying to kill that. And here's a direct quote from the president this afternoon. He says, Elon's totally lost it. So we don't expect to see a phone call between these two men, at least today. We shall see where this goes. In the meantime, the White House here, John, is trying to figure out what to do with that red Tesla with Florida plates that, remember, Trump bought at full price back in March. It's still sitting here on the White House grounds, and we are told it's either going to be given away or it's going to be sold off. The president actually has not said anything on camera about this dust-up today. He dodged a question late last evening after briefly commenting on Musk during a visit with the German chancellor. Watch this.
I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate. Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore.
Mr. President, any response to Elon Musk claims that there's
So for his part, Musk appears to be a little bit more open to mending relations. Last night, he posted on X that he won't, in fact, be decommissioning the Dragon spacecraft after he posted that he would do that. And then he replied, "You're not wrong," to a post by David Ackman, who wrote, "The two men should make peace for the benefit of our great country. We are much stronger together than apart." So at this hour of this breakup watch here at the White House, President Trump not budging. He departs for Bedminster later this afternoon, about 3 o'clock, and that will be what we expect the first time we'll see him today. And maybe he'll talk to us and the cameras about what he thinks about Elon. John.
Well, be sure to ask him about that red Tesla, because the denouement of that little item is something that we're all interested in.
Are you interested in that Tesla, John?
Well, no, I'm interested in the story. And the fact that it's got Florida plates
sale,
on it, by now it's supposed to have D.C. plates on it, I think, though maybe the president gets special dispensation on that. Thanks, Aisha. Keep us posted. Sandra?
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
And our chief Washington correspondent, John Carl. So, John, let's file this whole feud under shocking but not surprising. You call the president on his cell phone at 6:45, he picks up.
Yeah, he picked up. Look, there's been reporting out there that the White House is working to put together a call between Elon Musk and Donald Trump to broker some kind of peace. I asked Donald Trump about that. He said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk. He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
They have a lot of leverage over each other.
Why are you so certain that the big beautiful bill won't pass the Senate? I thought that the actual spoilers on the Republican side would stay firm, but I don't know anymore. The Democrats could try and actively dominate Senate sessions with the endless amount of time that they can get. Like, they could literally do the Cory Booker style, like, filibuster. There's only so many days remaining in the legislative session. But I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think the Dems are going to do anything, really. Why doesn't Elon want to cut spending? What's in it for him? No, it's the reason why he doesn't like the bill is because it takes away his EV credits. That's what he doesn't like about it. Not it hurts Tesla's stock prices, which is directly associated with his net worth. Why do you doubt the Democrats? Bernie and Elizabeth Warren will stop this bill for sure and also get good media hits from it. Okay. Debated. Happy Friday, chat. Thank a union worker. Good one.
Oh, there's no question about that. Look, Elon Musk, obviously the richest man on the planet, the biggest Republican donor in the history of Republican donors. But this is, in many ways,
contracts with the government.
Yeah, but this is asymmetric. I mean, Donald Trump, to use his phrase, really holds the cards here. Donald Trump could do severe damage to Elon Musk if he were to go vindictive. And he's been remarkably restrained. There's been remarkable restraint from Donald Trump. I mean, look, Elon Musk went nuclear. You're talking about his impeachment, talking about tying him to the world's most notorious sex trafficker, all of this, and Donald Trump has been restrained. But he could go after the government contracts. He could announce criminal investigations into what Elon Musk was doing on Doge. I mean, you've seen Steve Bannon suggest he could use the Defense Production Act to try to seize parts of SpaceX. I mean, there's a lot that Donald Trump
to be deported as well.
Yeah, he also called him being deported. So look, Elon Musk is very powerful.
Oh God. Oh my God. I mean, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. But like, can you imagine? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh. I want to live in that world. I want to live in that alternative reality, man. That's the reality that I want to live in.
He's also a very big target.
One of the other surprising things
I actually got literal chills. It's not even a joke. I got chills.
Several hours for the vice president, J.D. Vance, to weigh in here. He's usually on social media all the time.
He's on social media. He's got a hair trigger on this stuff. He was silent for 8 hours while Elon Musk, somebody who has been very close to J.D. Vance,
even
went
before
after
Trump.
Yes, they were allies before he was his running mate. And then when J.D. Vance finally came out, what did he do? He didn't hit back at Elon Musk. He didn't really defend specifically, none of it, Donald Trump against those charges. He said, I stand beside Donald Trump. I mean, where else is he going to stand? He's the vice president. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people in the MAGA movement are wondering where J.D. Vance's loyalties are after that yesterday. I assume we'll hear more from him, but it was a very quiet period.
Fascinating. I assume the president's probably watching since he took your call. Let's see if he calls you back in a few minutes. Thanks, John. Rebecca.
Quite the breakup, and you have to wonder what the rest of the world is thinking as they watch all of this unfold as well.
All
All right, we do have breaking news this morning. What is President Trump's latest thinking about his explosive feud with Elon Musk?
I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that this is dominating the media headlines because this at least, like, once again, creates organic discontent surrounding the big, beautiful bill, even if it's from the wrong side, even if it's from the side where people are like, oh, yeah, well, I'm not gonna go to the DOJ Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing major criminal arrest for Kilmar Brega Garcia. I'll cover it after the conference is over, but it's good that there's at least like some kind of discontent surrounding this bill. It's kind of like relying on the Freedom Caucus to tank certain cuts to spending because they just are angry that there's not enough cuts. You know what I mean? Because it's just not going to be, the resistance is not going to come from the Democrats. You know what I mean? So I'll take whatever I can get. Hopefully this will at least extend. This will maybe create some natural hurdle against it. I don't know.
Well, joining us now, someone who just got off the phone with the president. CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash joins us now by phone. Dana, what did he tell you?
Good morning, John. Well, he said that he's, quote, well, here's exactly what he said, quote, I'm not even thinking about Elon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Central Committee's right. This kind of right-wing infighting is exactly what prevented Obama from doing a grand bargain to cut Social Security and Medicare in his term, if you recall, which was, of course, actively petitioned for and pushed for by Joseph Robinette Brandon. And the Tea Party caucus was the one who actually decided, oh, it doesn't do enough cuts, and they tanked it. So I'll take the destruction of this bill, whichever way it comes. Like whichever. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work at the end of the day because like there is a fairly sizable tax increase due to the sunsetting tax cuts that Donald Trump, ironically enough, wrote in his previous tenure when he designed the tax cuts. And therefore, that's seen as a tax increase. And Republicans are allergic to such things. But who knows?
He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem. He said he won't be speaking to him for a while, but he said he wishes Elon Musk well. It was a short conversation. He didn't seem very exercised about it. And the interesting thing is, of course, the context of this is how many people who are in both men's orbits are trying to broker a peace deal, so to speak, and trying to get them to talk because of the concern about the fallout in so many directions. I mean, the blast radius from this fallout is really, really big and very wide. But right now he said he's not interested in that, and he's moving on. And in typical Donald Trump fashion, John, he, before I even asked the question, wanted to talk about what he wanted the storyline.
He had to sunset them because it would have been unable to use reconciliation because the tax code would be too expensive. They love lying with sunsets to get better scores with the CBO. Yeah.
To be today about the economy. He was talking about gas prices. He said he was waiting for the jobs numbers to come out, which I think is about 2 minutes from now. So as he has done his entire career, not just political, but since he was a businessman, trying to push out the narrative and push out the story that he thinks is the most advantageous for him. And he thinks that's the economy now. But of course, we did briefly talk about Elon Musk. And the headline is he says he has no plans to talk to him right now.
Yeah, just to reiterate, again, because the story overnight has been a whole slew of people working to tone things down and to de-escalate. And he's telling you, I don't want to talk to him right now. And then he also threw that elbow saying that, the poor guy's got a problem. So, if Elon Musk is waking up this morning, he might read that, I imagine, as a new insult.
He might. He also said, I won't be speaking to him for a while, I guess, but I wish him well. He wasn't exercised. He didn't sound angry. He sounded, I guess, more resigned. to where their relationship is right now. But he obviously is very well aware of the impact that this is having. And that's why I found it interesting that even though he seemed to try to put a stop to any speculation or, as you were saying, the entreaties from so many people for the two of them to make up, he was still trying to kind of shape the narrative about what is coming out of the White House. It's not an easy thing to do right now because literally the entire world is focused on this remarkable feud between the president of the United States and Elon Musk.
I will say that's 100% true. People were talking about it on the subway, on the sidewalks, everywhere I turned yesterday afternoon and evening. This has 100% focus. Dana Bash sharing her interesting morning conversation with the President of the United States. Thank you very much. We'll let you get ready for Inside Politics, which airs at 12 p.m. Eastern.